For 2 years, we raced through rapid AI experimentation, but heading into 2026, the speed of that global rollout has hit a dead stop. Recent data shows that 65% of enterprise AI initiatives are currently failing to reach production. The initial excitement is being replaced by a much harder diagnostic question: why is the ROI so difficult to find? While it's easy to blame a lack of talent or hardware, the supply of raw processing power has largely stabilized through the rise of TPUs, neoclouds, and specialized chips from AMD and Intel. We are actually hitting an infrastructure wall. In this new phase, the primary bottlenecks have moved from digital compute to physical power density and electrical grid access. Scaling an AI model involves the same rigid physical dependencies as a heavy industrial construction project, a reality often overlooked by standard software deployment teams. Humans are biologically prone to the planning fallacy, a cognitive bias that leads us to underestimate the time and risks of future actions while overestimating the benefits. We see the cost of this bias in the Sydney Opera House. It finished 10 years late and $100 million over budget because the planners couldn't account for the complex sequence of physical snags that actually dictated the timeline. In complex systems, delays do not just add up, they pile up. According to Nassim Taleb, a single setback in a dependent chain often triggers a non-linear collapse, where the longer you wait, the longer the expected delay becomes. Because our intuition cannot accurately predict how these AI systems scale, we need a mathematical framework to map the path forward. In 1956, scheduling the maintenance of a chemical plant at the DuPont company was considered a dark art. It relied mostly on the gut feelings of project managers and high-pressure meetings. Morgan Walker and mathematician James Kelly used a UNIVAC computer to process thousands of variables, searching for a hidden structure in massive projects. They discovered that only a tiny fraction of tasks actually determine when a project ends. They called this sequence the critical path, the specific golden thread that cannot be delayed without pushing back the final deadline. While this method was built for physical factories, its focus on logical sequencing is exactly what's required to navigate the AI infrastructure gaps of 2026. The first pillar is dependencies. A task cannot start until the previous finishes. Next is float, buffer time for non-essential tasks like model development. The critical path itself has zero float. These inflexible tasks dictate the shortest possible project duration. This shows why obsessing over the size of a model or the speed of your code is often a distraction. If those tasks aren't on the critical path, they aren't the reason your project is late. In 2026, the zero-float tasks on the AI critical path are almost always physical. This includes securing high-density power agreements and specialized liquid cooling systems required for modern racks. Data sovereignty is the second major constraint. Failing to align with local privacy laws creates negative float, where legal risks make the project late before you begin. Greek mythology described 3 fates who controlled destiny. The final sister was Atropos, the inflexible one who carried shears to cut the thread of life. Infrastructure is the Atropos of project management. If you ignore physical constraints, the shears close, and the project's timeline is permanently severed. South Africa has become an unexpected guide for this kind of planning. Having navigated chronic grid instability, local businesses are the first to adapt to the energy-heavy requirements of AI. In the energy island strategy, operators are bypassing the national grid entirely, building autonomous solar infrastructure to guarantee their data centers never lose power. By securing 120-megawatt private renewable sources, these organizations remove utility-level delays from their critical path, ensuring their agents remain online regardless of the national energy situation. In the current climate, localized energy resilience is a more valuable asset than sheer compute power. Most people will continue to focus on the magic of AI outputs, but to avoid the high failure rates seen across the industry, you must focus on the inputs as a path architect. This means prioritizing the structural constraints, the float on your data cleaning, your sovereign baselines, and your access to high-density power. The advantage in this new intelligence cycle belongs to those who can accurately map the physical path required to power their code.